Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Did it start this time? Is it the right stream? Instead of being just the wrong one like last time. Does anybody see this? Is it fine? Everything should be set up correctly, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it should be working. Happy Halloween! Yes, happy Halloween to everybody. Now my camera is on autofocus right now, so sometimes it might just like prioritize the microphone. So I hope it works. And yeah, happy Halloween. For the first time in I don't know how long, probably, I'm not like at a party for Halloween. I'm by my lonesome self, and I thought it would be a cool idea to just, every single year I forget that I would need like a Halloween watch list of films and just TV series and stuff like that, right? And I was like, hey, why not try and do it by myself, or at least with other people online who might have some suggestions, and we might discuss some of these films and see if they fit for a Halloween, Halloween thing. They're telling me that the audio is a bit low, which is crazy because I keep raising it from OBS. Oh, that's my list. Audio. I don't know why it's so quiet. I can try to like raise it on the audio card or audio interface. I don't know if this way works better. I'm doing very well, Carib. How about you? Enjoy watching Halloween horror movies. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what there is to celebrate, I guess, but usually, some people maybe organize some costume parties and stuff, which is pretty cool. And this time just chilling at home. And yeah, what better way to spend Halloween than watching some cool spooky films and stuff like that. I'm gonna raise it again. Let's see if it makes it better. Maybe. Volume. Maybe like this. I don't know, guys. You tell me. Come to Brazil. No. So, you know what? I'm just gonna start. Oh God. Why is it peaking now? Oh God. Is it too loud now? I'm scared for your ears, guys. So, yeah. I guess, I won't wait for people to come into the stream. Hello. Good evening to you too. I don't know, maybe other people will show up later, but the point here right now, it's too loud now. Jesus Christ. Stop this. Stop. It was perfect. What? Well, then I'm gonna have to lower it again. How does it work? Alright. Okay. YouTuber Bonesworth. No, I think I've heard the name before, like I've seen it around, but I don't know who that is. I've probably never seen any videos. So yeah, I wanted to explain just quickly what the point, I guess, of the video is, of the live stream, what the ranking will be. It's pretty much, just choosing what films, and I have a pretty long list made up of just the stuff that I watched, or some of the stuff that I watched, And you know, it's a list based on how good these films are for Halloween, but not on the fact that like if if the films themselves are good or not. You'll see. You know, some films are pretty bad, but they're perfect for Halloween because they're fun and, you know, they're a great time, especially if you watch them with other people too. And others are amazing films, but they're so slow maybe that they don't really fit with the Halloween vibe, you know. So it's mostly about how fun, entertaining the films are, and how well, I guess, they fit in that Halloween spirit, I guess, Halloween vibe, right? If they have the right atmosphere. It hasn't been even. All right, Carob, I'm gonna check it out then. Let's just miss a lot. No, we just started actually. Hello. Let's just put in a couple of films, and you know, I'll need you to also comment on what you think, if these are actually good films for Halloween or if I'm just, you know, smoking something. Hello, Christian. So let's start the top of the list. These are not in order right now. Hereditary, right? It's a perfect example. I think it's like one of the better horror films to come out in the last, I don't remember when it came out, but it's one of the better recent horror films, in my opinion. But it's also pretty slow, right? It's pretty artsy, it's pretty slow. Not everybody is really vibing with it as a horror film, you know? So it's a perfect example of something that I would say is probably okay for Halloween, right? Well, Carib, that's kind of the point. It's even if you haven't seen them, even if you haven't seen them, it's gonna be like a good watch list to keep in mind, or to have. I'll share it later, I guess, either on YouTube or on X or something, and so anybody can just grab it and, you know, be like, all right, what am I gonna watch this Halloween? Belle, that's insane. You're dressed as Jeff the Killer? Oh God. You know what? I would be afraid of you if I were in your same school. You got an ad. Yeah, I think that's just because I turned on the monetization on for the stream, and just because that way when I actually publish it, I guess it's gonna be monetized. But if you guys get too many ads, tell me, and I'll try to. I don't know if I can do it live, but I'll just turn off the monetization, right? If it's too annoying. But yeah, you get an ad just because I turned on the monetization. So what else could we choose here? I've seen maybe a third of these movies. Then I'm gonna tell you why you should watch them too. Let's see. Jacob's Ladder, right? Jacob's Ladder is a big classic, and it's a very like psychological horror film. It obviously inspired Silent Hill, among other things. It's a pretty deep film also when it comes to like metaphors, and I would recommend it to anybody who's interested in like spooky psychological movies. But again, is the, you know, is it a Halloween classic? It depends. If you're spending Halloween alone and you just want something that kind of depresses you, then I think so, yes. But in general, I would say it's more of a, again, okay for Halloween, maybe even bad for Halloween, because it's not really fun. It's not that kind of film. So yeah. What else we got here? Well, you see, one of the examples, for example, I didn't only choose horror films, but stuff that can fit, you know. And one of these examples, one perfect example, is the Scooby-Doo film. Is it a good film? No, not really. So it's a perfect example of a film that doesn't have the right quality, I guess, to be considered a good film. But is it perfect for Halloween? Absolutely yes. It's it's just fun. It's also, I guess I'm a bit biased because it's my childhood. You know, it's one of those films that I had on DVD and I watched like 30,000 times, I think. I'm a sucker for anything Ari Aster has made. Yeah, I think he has a pretty good track record for now. Uh, yeah, you see, everybody's like, yeah, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo's the perfect Halloween film. Yes, it is. Um, but yeah, I also like Ari Aster. Haven't seen the last film, Addington, I think, but really liked everything else so far. So on the Scooby-Doo train, we also got, the Scooby-Doo animated films. I just picked one, my favorite one from what I remember, and it's the one, like the alien invasion one, right? Where when they're in the desert and they're like, Shaggy gets to, falls in love with this hippie girl and she turns out to be an alien. Spoilers, I guess. And I just remember, like, the Scooby-Doo animated films for me are like the kind of perfect films to watch when you are sick at home, right? They're not very deep, they're not very, like, they're nothing amazing, but they're super fun. And I think they are exactly, the one with the cute hippie girl, exactly. And they're just perfect Halloween fun. Like, Scooby-Doo for me is very, like, almost synonymous with Halloween. I wanted to actually dress up as Scooby-Doo this Halloween, but seeing as I'm, like, lazy and procrastinate, I didn't get a costume, so yeah. I just look boring. Yeah, exactly. Perfect comfort movie. So, what else was there? Where the hell is the stream? Why am I not seeing it? All right. Do you see the window? Yeah, you should. So what else? We got, for example, Mandy. Mandy has 30 billion things going for it. One of the main ones is Nicolas Cage, obviously, who's always fun, whatever movie he's in. So I think that already kind of puts it in a nice tier, like in the perfect films for Halloween. But it's also like super stylish. It has action, it has humor, and it has like it has a perfect atmosphere, I think, for like a movie night, right? It's nothing too complicated. It's not a heavy watch, right? Except maybe one moment in the film, which is not exactly like for everybody. Like, if you're sensitive or sensible to certain things, it's not gonna be a good watch. But I think that for Halloween, like, it's hard to find movies that are more fun than Mandy and fit as well. Hey Daniel, hello. Yeah, Mandy is just amazing. It has definitely one of my like top 10 favorite scenes ever, and it's it's Nicolas Cage losing his mind in the bathroom scene. That's just like acting at its peak, right? How are you doing, Daniel? I've seen you re-uploaded that video about like most disturbing moments on the internet. It's playing right now, like in a second window on my other computer. I had already seen it, but now, like, you know, if you had to re-upload it, still like get those views. Going to watch Alien 1 and 2 with my fiance in a few hours. I voted for The Mist, but she was shocked. I've never seen Alien 2. Yeah, is The Ring on the list? Yes, there's a lot of stuff on the list. Don't worry. And talking about Alien and aliens, I'll have to confess to something. I don't really, I'm not a big fan of Aliens, like the second one, but the first Alien, the original, is one of my favorite films ever. I think it's like in my top 10 favorite films in the world, not only horrors, right? So I put Aliens here, or Alien, the first. Didn't put the second, but I'd say it's a good Halloween watch. I'd say it's good, but it's not perfect because it's still like very much like a sci-fi horror film. It's not that funny, I guess. It's not very, it doesn't fit with that wacky, Halloween vibe. It's darker, and it's a real horror. So I think like it's good, especially if you're already a fan of it. So you like do a yearly rewatch or something. It's an amazing film with one of the best scores in cinema ever, probably. So for me, good. Let's do something that I think is bad for Halloween, just to... Metti Speed Racer, scemo. No, Speed Racer non è Halloween. Something that is bad, or even terrible for Halloween. One of my favorite horror films in recent history, Skinamarink. I absolutely love it. But yeah, this one goes in the terrible category because it's incredibly slow, it's experimental, it's absolutely not for everybody, and it has, people are very split on it, and I would recommend it to anybody if you have any patience, when watching films, because it's one of the most unique pieces, I guess, of horror cinema in the last few years, but it's definitely not a good Halloween film at all. Like, you're probably gonna fall asleep, you're gonna just ruin everybody's mood if you put on Skinamarink on Halloween. What else could be bad or terrible for Halloween? For example, Actually, let's do something that's always terrible, right? You'd think that like a bad and hilariously bad horror film would be perfect for Halloween, right? So bad it's good. But there are just some films that are so bad that they're just bad. You can see that they're just like made with no vision at all, with there's no point in that film except trying to make some money. And one of the perfect examples for me, so films that are always shit, whether it's Halloween or not, is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. If you've seen this film, I'm sorry for you. It's a piece of shit. It's absolute garbage, and I don't know why they made it. Probably because the IP copyright ran out, so they could just make whatever they wanted, which is something that happens often, I've noticed. But yeah, it's not something you should watch on Halloween, and you should never watch in general. Okay. So then, maybe something classic, what's in here? I need to watch Skinamarink for a while just because it's very unique. I think it's a good watch whether or not you have patience for it because of how different it is. So yeah, I agree. But I've seen so many people just absolutely hate the film that I realized that it's definitely not for everyone. Like, not everybody understands that. Hey, Rothy, we need a what now? The Pooh. Whoa, what's funny about the Pooh? Dracula, the original 31, right? The original film with Bela Lugosi. It's, again, how many people are gonna sit through like a silent film about like a silly Hungarian man dressed as a vampire, right? Halloween, oh yeah, we'll get to the film Halloween later because I have some opinions on it. Yeah. But Dracula, again, I wouldn't say it's terrible. I don't think it's as slow as Skinamarink, and as it's not going to divide people as much as Skinamarink, right? But still, it's still kind of slow. It got kind of old and everything. So I'd say it's bad for Halloween, unless you're a diehard fan of Bela Lugosi and like all the horror films, in which case it could work for you. But But here again, something that I personally don't love. What's going on? Roddy, where's my money? Guys, don't fight. Something that I personally find great, or actually that I don't find great, but I think is a pretty good Halloween watch, is Army of Darkness. I'd say it's even perfect, maybe? Nah, let's put it at good, because it's a fun film. It's more of a comedy than anything else. It has a lot of iconic scenes. While watching it, I was just like, this is not exactly for me. But I do love the original Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, especially the second one. And I also think that just because of how wacky they are, of how like funny and not just straight up horror, I think it absolutely works for a Halloween watch list. A friend of mine would always go with the pre-60s horror. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't. I think there's more fun stuff that you could watch on Halloween. Pre-60s horror is like. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what if I would watch that on Halloween. It takes some, it just takes some concentration, right? You have to really pay attention with those films, especially if they're silent. 2013 Evil Dead is the best Evil Dead. Well, I haven't watched that one. I'm, ready to bet my money on the fact that it's not. But I have added Evil Dead Rise, which is, I think, the last one they made. Where the hell is it? Oh, now this is a problem. I keep losing. Oh, Evil Dead Rise. Is it a good film? Arguable. It has some pretty cool scenes, and I generally enjoyed it, I'd say. But is it a good Halloween watch? I think it's pretty solid. It's fun. It's not too serious. It's not too, doesn't try to be like too deep or anything, and it has some good scares. So I'd say it's pretty good. Pretty good for Halloween. So we got the Evil Deads out of the way. Yeah, exactly. It's the one with the cheese grater. So I mean, that's already so iconic, I guess, that it has to go up there somewhere. But what else? Let's see. Talking about films that are always shit, in my opinion, Insidious. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. I don't know why that film became so famous when it came out. I don't know what people saw in it, but I think it's just terrible. I think it's not good on Halloween and not like outside of Halloween. Like it's just horrible in my opinion. The Death Clock. The band? No. Told me I'll live to my 85th year? What? 7 minutes? It even tells you the minutes? No, I don't want to know when I die. I don't even want a fake website to tell me when I'll die. What else? There are other films like which I would absolutely recommend to everybody. Like Angel Dust. Angel Dust is a film by Gakuro Ishii, I think his name is. Yeah. He's a Japanese director, a very punk Japanese director who's made a lot of different films and different genres, who I would recommend everybody watch. He's great. But and Angel Dust has probably inspired some of Silent Hill's vibes, the game itself. It's interesting. It's very psychological. I wouldn't even really call it a horror film, but while I do recommend it, it's very slow. It's very abstract too in some of its concepts. So I would say it's pretty bad for Halloween, but absolutely do watch Angel Dust when you have time because it's very, very good. Why would you put movie Constantine there? I mean, it's not a bad movie, of course, but it doesn't suit Halloween. Why doesn't it? It's like otherworldly priest killing demons. Like, what's not Halloween about that? And also the fact that it's kind of a goofy film, I think, makes it fit with Halloween pretty well, right? Like, it is a horror-inspired film, so, like, I don't know. Would you not agree that it's a good... that it's not a good Halloween film? Like in the chat, just tell me if you guys agree. And Coraline is a masterpiece. Yes, I do have Coraline on my list. And yes, I agree. It's an amazing animated film and it's a perfect Halloween watch. It's one of those, again, kind of like Scooby-Doo, one of those cozy films. But this time it's actually a good film too. Like, I think objectively it's pretty damn great. And it's just such a good time. It has such a palpable atmosphere, I just don't know where I put it now, but I do want to put it at perfect for Halloween. Where is it? Coraline? Where the hell? Do you guys see it? I'm like scanning everything but not finding it. Oh, here it is. Right. Yes, I would put it at perfect for Halloween. Yeah. You can watch A Hollow Tree. I think I've seen that one. Is that the one with the scene where the guy looks through a gun's what do you call it? Like he looks. Oh God, what do you call it? Well, he looks through like his gun and sees the naked guy standing in a field. Then the next time he looks, the guy is just like running on all fours towards him. Right? It's that one, because that was pretty cool, if I'm remembering correctly, the name. So another film that I absolutely love, and I would, if you love slow burn psychological horror films, is Possum. Possum is it's pretty hard to watch. It's pretty terrible, but it's terrible for Halloween. Like it's very, very dry and very slow, and I wouldn't recommend it for such a festive day, such a day in which you would want to have fun instead of becoming depressed. So kind of goes in the same category as Skinamarink. Oh, 30 Days of Night. Yeah, I haven't added that one. If we finish up this one, like this list, I might start adding your suggestions, even if like I haven't seen maybe the films. Like 30 Days of Night, I've never really seen it. Maybe as a kid, a few scenes, but I don't really remember the film much. But I love the stop motion movies. Yeah, but Coraline, I don't think is stop motion. I think it uses like a style similar to stop motion, or maybe I'm just misremembering. Maybe I'm thinking about like the Rats films. What was it called? Like the one where they go in the sewers or something. Maybe that was the one that imitated stop motion. I don't know. Is Coraline actually stop motion? It's very impressive stylistically. It's very impressive. And yes, I recommend to watch Mad God, and it is on the list. And I think it's good for Halloween too, because again, it is kind of a slow film and it is pretty abstract, but just the spectacle is incredible. It's even one of those films that you could just Washed Away. Thank you. Exactly. I think that one just imitates stop motion, but it's not really stop motion. British Ratatouille. Exactly. And Mad God is like one of those films that you could even, if you like organize a Halloween party, just project Mad God in the background somewhere, and like it's gonna just create the right ambience, right? It's one of the most, I think, visually interesting films that have come out in recent times. Flushed Away. Yeah, exactly. So what else have we got? Like, Psycho. Psycho is a very classic horror film, one of the biggest classics in horror. But again, if you're into like older films, and for you like the perfect Halloween night is just watching some classics, like black and white classics and older films, then it would absolutely work. And it's like not even one of the slowest horror films I know, like from that era, but I wouldn't call it like great for, it's not the most fun film ever, but it can still work as a Halloween film. So I'd say it's okay. Again, just a reminder, I'm not valuing like the quality of the film themselves. I'm just talking about how fun they are on Halloween, right? So what else? Late Night with the Devil. Let's do this one. Not everybody enjoyed it, and I get it. Like, it's definitely not a perfect film, but and also there was the whole controversy with the AI tags. What do you call them? Like the AI art that they used between some of the shots. And yeah, that's terrible. Thankfully, it's just apparently those little moments, right? And everything else is just like actual VFX artist work. But other than that, I think it's a great. Why don't I see the Scream franchise on the list? Because I've never seen it. I've never seen a Scream film. I will have to, absolutely. So like maybe later when I add like the other what do you call them, like the suggestions, then you can decide where it goes, right? So Late Night with the Devil, I think, is actually a pretty good watch. Like, you bring some people over, just put it on, and I think it's gonna be a fun time. It's also like that kind of late show format. I think it's very entertaining, and it also like it has this thing of like being a fake film inside of a film. Like there are two layers to it, and I think that kind of stuff especially works on Halloween, when you're not trying to like take stuff seriously, but you want to more so have fun, right? Again, yeah, I haven't seen the Scream films. I'm sorry, that's a big mistake on my part. But you know what is a absolutely horrible film? Probably, like I barely remember it, but I remember it being terrible. But is a perfect Halloween watch. Stay Alive. Do you remember that one? Does anybody know this film? It's the one where the guys just like play a video game that starts killing them inside of the video game, but then they die in the same way outside, like in real life. Okay, and it's like from the early 2000s, I think. So you get like these terrible 3D video game graphics, which are amazing in my opinion, and you also got like I don't know, just terrible acting, characters, writing, but super fun as a Halloween watch. I definitely add it to the list. It's so bad it's good. Yeah, exactly. What else? Like the Blair Witch Project, right? I love the Blair Witch Project. Is why I think it's one of my favorite horror films. Its simplicity is just too charming for me, and I would absolutely recommend everybody watch it. And if you're a fan of it, then it's a good Halloween watch, I guess. But in general, if I had to recommend it to people, like if I had like on this list, if I had to show this list to somebody, like, oh, watch this on Halloween, I think that it would be okay, right? It's not the best choice. Then the Soviet film about a witch, or actually about a monk or a philosophy student, I think, who basically has to pray 3 nights in a row for like a dead witch, and at night weird shit starts happening, and like there's coffin surfing. It's like it uses Ukrainian folklore, and it's super fun. I didn't expect it to be so fun, and I think it's super fun for Halloween, like specifically because of how kind of like wacky and creative it is, even with the costumes, the effects, you know, all of that's good stuff. And maybe I'd put it at good, because it's obviously not for everyone, also because of the fact that, you know, it's in Russian, so you'd have to watch it with subtitles and stuff like that. And if you're not interested in folk horror at all, then it's probably not going to be your thing, right? But still, it is a lot of fun. It has a very engaging structure too. What else? AM 1200. So this one, Gooligan once again made a video about it. I wouldn't say it's amazing. It's like a featurette. So it's not a short film, but it's not even a feature film. It's like 30 or 40 minutes, I think. It's like right there in the middle. And it's basically a cosmic horror story about a guy who tries to run away with some money he stole from his company. And he's driving in the middle of the desert and hears this radio broadcast that tells him like, oh, please help, we have a medical emergency at our radio station, right? And he he goes to check it out at one point. Well, he's kind of forced to do it, and strange shit unfolds, right? It's short, it's very like typically cosmic horror. You know what to expect when you go in it, but I think it's a pretty good like, for what it is, it's pretty good, right? Petition for Muldered to watch all of the Scream movies. Yeah, thanks. Well, I mean, all of them? Do I have to? Are they all good? Can I just watch the first one? Also, thanks for the $5. I don't know. We could watch them together, man. I always love Slavic cinema. I may or not force my friends to watch those films with me. It has a unique nostalgia to it for me. Yeah. I think like I haven't seen enough of them to really comment in general, but V is very good in my opinion. What's an example like of something else that's pretty good for Halloween, but is not a great film? I think is Bodies. If you see in that one, like it's not great. Though, I mean, the acting is pretty good in general. Like, it's not a bad film in my opinion. I've seen some people hate on it, but I think it's not like that terrible. And most of all, it is a stupid, fun horror film. And it has a few, at least, interesting ideas that I haven't seen before. And so, like, yeah, good Halloween watch. Wouldn't say it's perfect just because it doesn't have that. It's not as iconic as something like Scooby-Doo, you know, out of all things. We call it Lighthouse. Yeah, I didn't know if I should add The Lighthouse to the list. It's one of my favorite movies ever, Garib. I love The Lighthouse. If you're talking about the Eggers film, but I don't know, should I add it? Where would it go? I think it would be like, for me it's perfect. Like, I think I could watch The Lighthouse and like any day and at any moment. But I don't know if I would recommend it to everybody as a Halloween film. I would probably say it's okay, right? Yeah, it is. It is Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse. What else? 28 Days Later. Okay. Another one of my favorite horror films, I'd say. I love how it looks. I love like the digital look of it, right? Oh, by the way, wait just a second. I have to connect my camera to the power source. Yeah. I was forgetting that it might actually shut down at one point, so I need to charge it. So 28 days later. I thought The Lighthouse was like a silent film until very recently, when I realized they just had not understood any of the dialogues. Yeah, they're pretty wacky. So 28 Days Later, what do you think? Have you guys seen 20 Days? Oh my god, why is it so hard for me to pronounce? 28 Days Later. Classic cinema, absolutely. I think it's a classic. It's a modern classic, right? It's worth your time. It's definitely something you should watch if you're a fan of horror in general, or just a fan of cinema. Cillian Murphy is great in it. There's a really good soundtrack with, like, I think there's a song by Godspeed You Black Emperor in it, which is amazing. And yeah, it has this like gritty look because it's like shot on a shitty digital camera. And it's the only one, I think, in the series that's worth watching. I didn't like the second one at all, 28 Weeks Later, and 28 Years Later for me was just kind of a mess. Like, it started out pretty interestingly, but then it just devolved for me. A new one seems less horror. It's more like action and shooting. You're talking about like 28 Days Later, because if that's what you mean, then yes, it's like, I don't know, it's just so many strange choices in it. The only like aspect that probably might not even be meant to be like in the film, but I saw that like as an interpretation in 28 Years Later, was the fact that there's almost like a commentary on the video gamification of violence, right? With all of those shots that like turn around when there's a kill shot, right? And in general, that's something that appears, at least to me, it seemed like one of the main themes, which I liked. But like the characters, like everything else, the writing for me was very kind of nothing, right? So would I say that 28 Days Later is a good Halloween film? Yeah, I don't think it's that slow that it's like, hard to watch or not fun. It is quite depressing, but still, it's one of the spookiest, I think, representations of zombies in a film. So that puts it at least in the good category for me. Like, we have days, weeks, skipped months, and years. Yeah. It should be like a prequel, 28 months later. They will try to make money off the franchise, you know it. So, what else do we have here? Wait just a moment. Oh, right. The most perfect film for any situation. Literally, like, first date, The Thing. Halloween, The Thing. Your grandma's funeral, The Thing. Like, The Thing, you could watch it anytime, in my opinion. It's always perfect. It's one of my favorite films ever, so of course I'm biased, but the reason for which I think it's perfect for Halloween too, it's not just because I love it, but because I think like the whole atmosphere of the film, the fact that you see like these characters stuck inside this base in the Antarctic, it gives this strangely cozy atmosphere to the whole film. And like it has a great soundtrack. It has like great acting, great effects, and most of all, the actual, what would you call it? Like, hello, Yumbo. What would you call it? Like the whole pacing of the film is one of the most like perfect pacings I've ever seen in cinema. It's so entertaining. I've never had somebody to whom I showed The Thing who was kind of bored by it or like not entertained or didn't like it. Everybody just always loves the film. So I think it's just like a winner in every sense, right? So then what else we got? The Host. Now here's another, I think, perfect Halloween watch. The Host is a film by Bong Joon-ho, the same guy that directed Parasite or like Memories of Murder or... well, it's less good, but Snowpiercer too. Like, he's a great director. And The Host is one of his older films, and it's about this, like, alien monster that, like, comes down to Earth and starts, like, killing people and destroying everything. And during the film, the monster keeps evolving, so it becomes bigger and changes shape and stuff like that. And it's made with, like, a very obvious CG effects, right? But like everybody always comments on the fact that even though it's very obviously CG, they obviously put a lot of work into making the monster feel like it actually has weight, right? Like it's present on the scenes. It's very strange unless you actually watch the film. It's, I guess, hard to understand what I mean, but it's again very fun. And like in typical Bong Joon-ho fashion, it's also kind of like quite deep, I'd say, right? It's not just like a silly monster film. It tries to also make a point with the characters, and it's absolutely perfect with it's absolutely perfect, I think, for Halloween. Dawn of the Dead. Actually, well, that's another film that I haven't watched, but I have added to the list Night of the Living Dead, which is one I actually did watch. And it's a bit slower. It's a bit like it aged a bit, but I was still surprised about like how modern it is too. Like in its political commentary and like just the characters it presents and some of like the choices, like the horror choices, I guess, is like it's much better than most horror films that come out like right now in this day and age. So would I say it's good for Halloween? I'd say it's okay for Halloween. I need to absolutely watch Dawn of the Dead. It's on my list, and I will watch it sooner than later, I hope. And that one is probably even better. I just had problems with like different versions of it, because there's like 3,000 cuts of Dawn of the Dead, right? There's not only like one theatrical cut, there's like the Romero cut, the directorial cut, like the ultimate fan-made cut, which just restores like the cut-out scenes, and the film becomes like 30 minutes longer or something. So I think that absolutely fits. Would absolutely fit, but I haven't yet watched it, so yeah. What else? Weapons. Now, this is an interesting one. Have you guys seen Weapons? Because I didn't like it. I thought it was, it disappointed me. I was pretty excited to see it because from all the promotional material, it seemed very, very interesting. Like, it seemed to be trying to do something new. But at the end, I was kind of just disappointed, especially like with the last act of the film. I was like, you were selling me something that sounded so interesting, and then you just like fall into what for me was a bit of a cliche. And I thought that like the characters weren't really that well explored or that deep. I would have preferred it to be like about only one character. Weapons felt more comedic. Yeah, because I mean, it absolutely was also kind of a comedy, like the black comedy, I guess. But I don't know. Still, the thing is, even though I didn't like it that much, I'd still think it's a pretty good Halloween film, right? Because it's entertaining. It has a lot of like cool scenes in it, and at least some of the new things it tries are actually interesting. Yeah, I'm torn. Yeah, I see you guys seem to kind of agree with me on this. Yeah. So, but I'd still think like if somebody put it on Halloween, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? Why not watch Weapons? Sure. But you mentioned Longlegs, and damn boy, I think Longlegs is pretty damn bad actually. You have Nicolas Cage, all right, playing like the bad guy, the monster. I guess he's not a monster, but like the crazy guy in the film. And again, yes, I feel horror baited. Yeah, the same. Like, it seems so interesting, and the style, like the style of the first scenes, the flashback ones, I guess, is very interesting. But then it just evolves into something that felt like I don't know, like a Netflix original or something. Very clean, very sterile, with like strange ways of developing its themes and like ideas, which I felt was I was just so bored by it. So in this case, like while Weapons is a pretty good Halloween film, I guess, Longlegs I'd say is just not good. I wouldn't call it shit, but yeah, don't watch it on Halloween. What else? What is there to like? What's kind of like very bad in any situation? Once again, I don't know if I even have like any more films that I'd say are as bad as those ones. Oh, okay. Let's do something. Let's do the positives maybe for a while, huh? Nope. Nope is absolutely like a modern classic for me when it comes to horror. That's one of those that actually delivered. And I haven't seen Us, but I've seen Get Out, and I also really liked Get Out. So Nope was just like, I was so surprised. Like, how can you make an interesting like alien film, right? Nowadays, that is not like in the Alien franchise, that is just like an original film about like alien invaders, right? It was crazy for me. And I think like they just knocked it out of the park. It's super engaging as a film. It's super stylish. It's one of the most interesting creature designs that I've seen in a horror film in a long time, and just a lot of fun and absolutely perfect for a Halloween watch. The moment that the film actually sold me is probably the moment where you see the actual cloud that doesn't move. I don't know why it gave me such a like childish terror for that scene, right? It reminded me of when I was a kid and I would expect like monsters to come out of like any place, right? Just ready to jump out. And it was so cool. It gave me like a little shiver, and I was like, oh damn, we're in for something cool here. I'm not so mad about Longlegs, the wasted potential. I'm so mad about Longlegs. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to fit too many of these, and the execution slacks. Not a good Halloween movie. Yeah. haven't watched Nope, absolutely recommend it. Nope is so much fun. Something else that's perfect, I think, for Halloween, that is not a good movie this time, it's actually, it's pretty bad, I'd say, is Dagon. I don't expect most of you to have actually seen Dagon, but just trust me, like if you like Lovecraft, this is, I think it's basically a reinterpretation or a retelling of The Shadow over Innsmouth, I think. And like the acting is terrible, some of the effects are pretty terrible, the story is stupid, it's a dumb like simplification of Lovecraft's work, but still it's such a good Halloween watch because it has just that kind of schlocky watch no it's such a schlocky horror film, and I don't even know if I would call it like B movie, right? But it's still so much fun. Absolutely, like at the top of my perfect for Halloween list. And another similar film that does kind of like, about which I would say kind of the same things, is, I should have it here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, In the Mouth of Madness. Like, this is another one that you have to, another one that's based obviously on Lovecraft's work. In the Mouth of Madness is, I think it's by not Cronenberg, I'm sorry, by Carpenter, right? And it's, again, is it a good film? You know, I'd argue that it's alright. It's not great. It's very, very silly, but it throws so much stuff at the viewer, like so many different, you know, horror concepts and horror creatures and stuff. But it absolutely, it's absolutely worth, I think, watching if you're a fan of Lovecraft and in general of cosmic horror, and if you also like, if you also like just wacky films that you don't have to take too seriously but have a very, very specific atmosphere. That, you know what, I would compare it to maybe Goosebumps, right? The books. It's kind of got that, like, that wacky atmosphere, and it's so much fun, and absolutely a total classic for Halloween. And I see Reanimator. Yes, again, not a perfect film. What's a Lovecraftian movie? It's a movie that's inspired by the books of H.P. Lovecraft, which are like always have to do with cosmic horror, so like creatures beyond man's understanding, right? And in this case, like Dagon is and actually both of these films are a direct reference or are indirect reference to Lovecraft's books, even in their names. And you know, if you read those books, I would really recommend them. They're not like amazing literature, but he definitely changed horror forever, and it's worth checking out. And they are like, they have a very specific like atmosphere, very specific types of monsters and stuff like that. Hi, hello, happy Halloween. What was the name of Lovecraft's cat? Well, we're not gonna mention that, alright? Yeah, Lovecraft was a bit of a racist. That's, if you don't know about the author, you should maybe ignore that when you're reading his work. Just got here. Hello. The thing is gonna be at the top of any list that is not like worst movies list, right? I guess it's just too much of a classic. I dare anybody to not like The Thing. Like, it's impossible. It's one of those like universally loved films, and I absolutely agree with that sentiment. So what else we got? Not the cat. Exactly. Don't mention the cat. Ah! You see, I lost my thread here. Oh, of course. What is more perfect for Halloween if not Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one? I was so surprised. It's, again, one of those movies that surprised me so much with how fun it is. I expected it to be dumber. I expected it to be like a B-tier horror film, but it ended up actually just being so engaging, so much fun, and one of the greatest villains in horror cinema ever. One of the greatest like monsters. Freddy is absolutely hilarious. And like without something like Nightmare on Elm Street, we wouldn't have Terrifier, right? Which, I mean, you could look at that as a good or a bad thing depending on your taste. But yeah, it's absolutely worth the watch, and you should definitely, if you haven't yet seen Nightmare on Elm Street, you should definitely check it out. I'll give me just 1 second. I'm gonna refill my water bottle because I didn't do it before. I'll come back in literally like 10 seconds, all right? Time. Is it 10 seconds? I'm back. Is the host on the top row the Korean one? Yes, it's absolutely the Bong Joon-ho film. It's super fun. Again, I'm not gonna repeat myself, but it's a very fun Halloween watch. He's never coming back. I'm back, dude. I'm back already. I'm lightning fast. What else? Another super fun, I think, maybe not perfect, but good for Halloween film is Troll Hunter. I know, like, probably a lot of people haven't seen it. It's a Norwegian film, I think. Blood Quantum. Kane, I don't know what that is. I actually never seen that one. But again, Troll Hunter, I'm gonna check it out anyway. Troll Hunter is I think a Norwegian film about a dude that hunts trolls, and it's a found footage film, which is super fun. It's wacky. Again, it's like it's more of a comedy, I guess, with a very strong horror tinge. It's kind of dumb, but not as dumb as you'd expect by the title, right? It has always pass up Troll Hunter. I'll have to put it on today. Yeah, I think it's very underrated because many people, I think, go in expecting something maybe like a real horror film, but it's more so a comedy. And if you just go in with that expectation, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun because, first of all, like the characters are pretty good, the acting is pretty good. The effects, again, it's one of those cases like The Host where the effects are very obviously CG, but they somehow still work in like in the atmosphere of the whole film. And it's just like you have these different types of trolls and they have to like go and film them for their like school project or something, or their documentary. It's more of a campy horror, exactly. And yeah, if you don't expect like a masterpiece, but just something that's pretty fun and obviously made with passion too, which is always like a big important thing for me, I guess for anyone, I think it won't disappoint. I would really recommend it. What else do we got? Because I've mentioned Terrifier before, here it is. This one is gonna split, I think. Split. If you've seen the movie, that's pretty funny. It's gonna split audiences forever, I think, because it's just like, it is just violence and torture and a campy clown that kills people, right? And if that doesn't work for you, it doesn't, okay? But I have also like a very, I think, weird opinion on the Terrifier franchise, which I've never seen like anybody express the same. I think the only good film, and good is a bit of a stretch because it's not a masterpiece again. It's just, it's pretty fun, I think, is the first one. I really didn't like the second and the third one. I didn't understand why they needed to add like deeper stories and deeper characters with their own like life problems and stuff, because I think they didn't write them very well. And the concept of the film itself for me just worked as just like a gore fest of like violent deaths, right? I think that could be just the point of your film. It could be just fun and with this very wacky character as your villain. Like, if you actually want to add some depth, I think you should work more on those aspects, like character writing and story writing. to me it kind of feels like thrown together, right? And so I don't know if I would say they're good for Halloween. I guess they are if you have a strong stomach, right? If you don't like get disgusted very easily, and if you like, again, these gore fests of films. And yeah, just I'm gonna say it's okay for Halloween, just because I'm too divided on whether to actually recommend it or not. I mean, for me, it was always fun to watch. So, do you have Death Becomes Her? No, I've never. I think I've heard of that film, but I've never seen it. Old movies. How old is it? It's interesting. What else we got? I guess, you know what? I'll do it. Final Destination, the first one, and like I'm talking only about the first one because like that's all you need. I think every film becomes more and more like boring for me because it's always the same thing. But the first Final Destination, it's just like a classic 2000s horror film. It's dumb, it's campy. It has an interesting concept that I don't think has been done before that. And so, of course, it became like a super franchise and everybody had seen it. But it's still, I think, a very solid watch for anyone. Again, if you don't want to see a good film, but like just a wacky, dumb film in which teenagers die, okay? Then, what else? Let's add something that's bad for Halloween now. Something that's bad for Halloween among these. You know what? I'll say The Witch is not a good Halloween film. How are we feeling about that? I love The Witch. I think it's a great film. But again, it's one of those like super slow films and it kind of just makes you feel bad at the end. It's not really that fun, but I can see how somebody would say it's like the perfect witch film to put on Halloween. What do you think? Tell me about it. What about Saw? Yeah, it's on the list. Saw is on the list, and I'd say it's already like a modern classic, I guess. And the first one is actually pretty fun. Like it's not even that stupid. Like it's not great, but it's not bad. And yeah, I'd put Saw, I guess, at good for Halloween, right? It's funny to see how many like not great films are not great films are at the top. Usually you'd see many of these at the bottom. Saw is much better than Final Destination. Yeah, I agree, but would you say it's a better Halloween film than Final Destination? Which definitely is in the seasonal vibe, you know. Yeah, which is funny because I think it's set in like in fall, during fall, and like witches are very the witch is okay, very fall Puritan vibes, so fitting for Halloween. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of, I think it does fit, but yeah, a downer. That's more of the, you know what, let's put it at okay. You've convinced me. My favorite thing about the witch is that the goat who played Black Phillip was so mean to everyone and said that he had to be permanently retired to a farm. That's what they call it, retired to a farm. I think we know what kind of sausages everybody ate after they finished the film. Death Becomes Her is great. It's funny, but not really creepy, except if you look really deep in what happens. It's not really old. I think it's from, 90s. All right, I'll check that one out too. It had the devil in him. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's method acting, right? The goat just was method acting and it became devilish in real life. Yeah, okay level. Went to live on a farm. He went to live on a farm. Yeah. Man. Is Trick or Treat on the list? No, I actually never seen Trick or Treat. I'm sorry. Again, if I don't know how long this will take. We should do like a speed round now, because I would like to add more stuff from your suggestions. The Nun. No, I haven't seen that one. And I don't think I will. I've only heard like bad things about it, and to me it kind of seems like all of those like exorcism movies that they're doing nowadays, like they're putting out 3 or 4 films like that every single year, and it's like jump scares, woo, okay, fun, not. So I don't know, would you recommend The Nun as a Halloween watch? I don't know, might work. Then what else? So let's talk Sinners, right? What do you think? Halloween worthy or not? I was kind of disappointed with Sinners. Like, I wanted to love it so much because there were so many things I was loving about the film. Though I really did prefer like the first part, which is more like a film about blues more than anything, right? With only some like creepy vibes at times, and then it just devolves into this like crazy horror film, action horror film, and becomes kind of stupid in my opinion. But you know, I'd say it's pretty good for Halloween. What kind of horror are you into? I don't know. I have very like specific, very specific taste, I guess. I could, if I just told you my favorite films in horror, I don't think you could make like any prediction on whether I'll like something or not. Okay, so I think it's kind of a, I don't know. I'd say my favorite horror films, they're even right here, like The Thing, Alien, Skinamarink. I really love Midsommar. Nope is very good. Like, and here I'm talking just personally, which movies I love. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that I like. So, you know. So wait, before I just change film now. What are we thinking? What about Sinners? Is it good for Halloween? I want to say good, because it does become like dumb and kind of fun. The first part is just very good on its own, but it like the first part doesn't really fit the Halloween vibe. What's the 6th movie in the second tier? V. It's a Soviet film. It's called V. Like VIY. Jesus, 3 letters, and I can't spell. What are we thinking about Sinners, guys? Should it go on a Halloween list? What's the goriest movie in this list? Damn, probably Terrifier. The Terrifier franchise is extremely gory. Like not even the first, like the first Saw is not even that gory, but Terrifier is absolutely like just a gore fest. What do you mean type it in chat, you bozo? Why should I? So bro, where's Mungo? Lake Mungo? I hate Lake Mungo. I'm sorry. That's one of those films that I never got the love for. For me, it's incredibly like boring, and it didn't work as a mockumentary for me. I should rewatch it, but I just remember it being like a lot of setup, a lot of like crescendo, and then you just get like a spooky picture, and that's it. And I was like, all right, that wasn't so interesting, is it? So actually, where is it? I think I added it somewhere. I would say that Lake Mungo is not. I'd say it's always shit. Actually, I'm sorry if you love the film, like okay, but I just I could be swayed to say it's terrible for Halloween and that's it, and not just a shit film. But I really don't like it. Like, I guess it's one of those cases where it's just either it hits you right or it doesn't. Sinners, not Halloween. Okay, then I guess I'll put it at bed for Halloween, right? Because I think like this again, the second part works with all the vampire stuff, but yeah, in general, maybe not. What else? You know what? The Blob is a very good Halloween film. The Blob remake, not the original one. If you haven't seen The Blob, I think it's one of those classics that doesn't get a lot of attention. Like, it's one of the minor horror classics, I guess. And personally, I really loved it. I thought it was very fun as a film. And it's just about this like blob, right? That comes to Earth and starts just digesting people and becoming bigger and bigger. And they, at one point, they just brutally kill a child. Like they melt the kid, which, you know, it's always cool when a film has the balls, I guess, to show children getting hurt. Just like Evil Lurks, for example, which is also on this list. Sinister, yeah, I hate Sinister. Again, it belongs higher as a horror film, as a perfect for Halloween than Final Destination. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I think I could be swayed to say it's perfect for Halloween. Is the Rec one the Spanish version? Yes, absolutely. Rec, I agree with the general consensus on the fact that Rec is definitely one of the like scariest horror films. Like I already talked about this in another video, but I don't really watch horror films for the fact that they're scary, because you know it's just stuff on a screen. At best, it could like creep me out, I guess. Yeah, Rec is actually one of those that kind of, you know, gave me a bit of cold sweat, I guess. And I think I added it. Yeah, I added it here. And I think it's a very, very good Halloween watch because of it. Like, just turn off the lights, bring some people in, and just concentrate on the film, the Spanish version, absolutely the Spanish one, and just kind of poop your pants a little bit. I don't know if it's perfect for Halloween, but it's definitely a good watch. The only thing that makes it not as perfect as the other one is, I guess, there's no levity in it. Like, all of these other ones are somewhat fun, right? Like, even The Thing has, like, a bunch of jokes and has, like, funny character dynamics, right? And Rec is just, like, horrifying the whole way through. So, I don't know if it would go in that same spot. Rec, Noroi, and Blair Witch for a perfect found footage triple Halloween feature. Yeah. That sounds good. In fact, let's just put Noroi. You know what? Noroi, I love it. I love like any film by, what's his name? Koji Shirashi, I think. I love anything he does, especially like the found footage stuff. Where did I put it? But I think Noroi and like Occult too is one of his films that I added. Like these two, I love them both, especially Occult. I think it's his best film, but they're very slow too. Like they have that cool atmosphere that's perfect for Halloween, I guess, from a horror standpoint, and they work as also as found footage films, but they're just a bit too slow, I guess, to be good for Halloween. I'd say they're okay for Halloween. I don't know. If you have a comment, please tell me. It's so scary. Yeah, it's kind of a, you know, when you watch the film itself, you realize that there's a little fly, something flying around my room. You realize that it's his style of this Japanese director is very like unrealistic when it comes to special effects. So if you don't appreciate that, like that specific style, you might find it too goofy. But for me, it just works. I love that style. Hell House. Don't know about that one. Damn. I'll have to write down all of your suggestions, watch them all, and do like a second part, where I just add all of the films that are missing on the list. Like I should basically just watch every horror film ever and just be an expert on it, I guess. That would be more. That would make it more comfortable. Have you seen Creep? Yes, Creep is on the list too. I think it's great, and I think it also works as a Halloween film because it's not too slow, and it has like an amazing villain, and it works. Like it makes you so uncomfortable, and it is also fun. Like the guy has some jokes. All right. Seritsu File, no, I have, but I know about them. It's like I started watching the Slit Mouth Woman, I think the first one, and I'm planning on actually doing a whole like watch through of all of those films. of that series at least. Play as Creep. When you were here before, you know the Kermit version of Creep. I am green. It's pretty good stuff. Better than the original by Radiohead, actually. Yeah. What else could we do? The Fly. Let's talk another classic. What do you think about The Fly? Like, Cronenberg is one of those directors that I respect more than I personally like. I think, in fact, my favorite Cronenberg film would be Cosmopolis, which everybody seems to hate. It's the Robert Pattinson one, which is set completely like in a limousine the whole time. And I just thought that one resonated with me in its meaning, I guess, and the dialogues and the weirdly theatrical dialogues and stuff. But like the rest of his stuff, like his horror films, like Videodrome, Existence, The Fly, I really like them. But I don't know, they're not exactly... Didn't put Evil Dead in the top rung. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just personal bias about Evil Dead. I think the first two can be just a little bit slower than Army of Darkness. Like, if I had to put one at perfect for Halloween, it would be Army of Darkness. But it's also my least favorite film, I guess, in the series. I don't know. But yeah, The Fly. How do you feel about The Fly? What do you think? Should it go to perfect? Or is it a bit too depressing to go into perfect for Halloween? Because it is kind of like terrifying, you know, as a character piece, I guess, not just as a horror film, and not just as a creature feature, you know. Is Jaws there? No, Jaws isn't. Again, one of those that I haven't actually seen, but I need to see. I'll have to update all of this with the new films that I add. So I don't know. I would say that The Fly is good for Halloween, right? And what else? Well, if we're doing Cronenberg at this point, let's just add. Where is it? I did add other films by him, I think, like Existence. Where the hell are they? I haven't seen Jaws. No, I know. I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot about Reanimator. Remind me about it. Where the hell are the other Cronenberg films? Man, did I really not add them? That's crazy if I didn't. Wow. I'll have to add them later. I don't know why I did it this way. Absurdly, it's a childhood movie for me. Existence, yeah. I can see that being like one of those classics you can grow up with, but I just found out about Cronenberg much later in life, so I don't have the same, I guess, love for it. Oh, let's do another super big classic, The Exorcist. I love The Exorcist. It's one of my favorite horror films, but I think it's pretty bad for Halloween because it's a very like slow artsy film. There's just more of a character study that deals a lot with just faith. Oh no. Did my camera just turn off? That's crazy. My camera just overheated. Can you imagine? That's insane. Well, I'm gonna have to then you'll have to wait a moment and just hear my voice for now while it cools down. It's not even 4K right now, so it's crazy that it overheated already. Maybe it's because I'm charging it at the same time. But yeah, I disappeared. Do I have like an image that I could use instead of the camera at this moment? You know what? The image that I shared on YouTube, which people didn't seem to appreciate, it's just my face, guys. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why you're so rude about it, telling me that it's terrifying and cursed and stuff like that. Let's see if I can add it. How do I do that? How do I open it? Photos, yeah. No, it's not this one. Why is it? Oh, God damn it. No, I can't add it at the moment. Well, whatever. Well, let's see if it works if I just turn it back on. Who knows? I have a condition. Yes, I do. Alright, let's see. I'm back. Is Bloodlines on this list? I see the first Final Destination, but Bloodlines is way better, I think. No, I don't, I just don't agree with that. I kind of hated Bloodlines. And I don't think, the Final Destination films are any good in general, but Bloodlines to me felt a bit just way too... Well, first of all, kind of stupid, I guess, but that's just par for the course with Final Destination. But I don't know, it felt too mean, you know? I kind of liked the characters in Bloodlines, as opposed to all the other films in the series. And I kind of hated seeing them die. It felt kind of mean-spirited, more than the other Final Destination films. And so, yeah, I wouldn't really rank it, honestly. But yeah, with most of them, as you see, I'm using one film for each franchise, I guess, except Evil Dead, but just because Army of Darkness is so iconic, I guess. What else? A Cure for Wellness. Let's do a random one. Oh, The Exorcist. I'm sorry, before I was interrupted. The Exorcist, I was saying, I think it's not a good Halloween watch. It's just a great horror film that you could watch, anywhere on your own, anywhere, anytime, on your own, and probably love it. But it requires a bit of, you need to pay attention. You need to, think about the themes and stuff. It's not very fun as a film. So I'd say it's not the best for Halloween. But then, A Cure for Wellness. You know what? Again, it's not a great film. I hated the ending. Absolutely hated the way it ends. It becomes very, I don't know, action slop. Not even action, but just B tier slop. And I don't think it's very good. Which is terrible because the first part was kind of engaging for me. There's a lot of stylistic choices that I love in Cure for Wellness. But would I say it's a good Halloween film? I'd say it's bad for Halloween. It's too slow, I think. Again, just like The Exorcist, which is a much better film, though. What else? I have Signs. You know what? Again, Signs is not a great film. I think it's actually kind of bad. But, you know what I'll say? It's a pretty good Halloween watch, right? Come on, there's let's put it okay Halloween watch. There's aliens, it's a classic. They're wacky, it's stupid, it's, just a good atmosphere, I guess, in Signs, especially if you're into alien invasion stuff. If you watched any of those mystery programs as a kid, in which in which they showed you UFO pictures and videos, I think it has that vibe and it works kind of well, even though the film itself in general is not great. What about The Village? You mean the M. Night Shyamalan The Village? Yeah, I haven't seen that one, and I'll probably never see it. In general, I'm not a fan of M. Night Shyamalan at all, so yeah. What else is there? You know what another bad good Halloween film is? Resident Evil. It takes the game's lore and the game's atmosphere and everything and just wipes its ass with it. But it's still a good Halloween watch. Hellraiser. No, I haven't added it, though I have watched Hellraiser. I'll just add a few films that I missed that I actually have watched. Let's see here. I'll add Hellraiser. I'll add the first Hellraiser, which actually, I'll add it, but I will not rank it very high because just as a film in general, for me, it was pretty boring. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of fans of Hellraiser. I just don't get it, I guess. And yeah, kind of found it boring and don't really get it. So I will probably put it at like okay for Halloween. What else? What other movies were there that I wanted to add? Can you remind me what I've seen but haven't added? I'm sorry, my memory is not what it used to be, right? New, where is it? New. Okay, Hellraiser. Yeah, here it is. Mila. Yeah. Hellraiser. Yeah. Sorry. Gonna have to go with okay at most, just because I kind of respect it. If it was just for me, I would say it's terrible for Halloween, but I respect, I guess, its influence. Great special effects. You mean Hellraiser? Yeah, I loved the style, like, of the special effects, but it's just like, I don't know, I didn't get the point of it. I expected something else, I guess, but I will probably rewatch it at some point because I also want to watch the sequels to Hellraiser. Signs is the best part was Joaquin Phoenix. He was pretty funny, yeah. Lots of lore. Yeah, does it expand, like, does the lore of Hellraiser expand a lot in the sequels? Like, do I need to watch them to get the full picture, I guess, of why the whole franchise is so beloved? Oh yeah, Cronenberg. I wanted to add Videodrome and Existence. Videodrome. I don't know why I didn't do it before. Save image and Existence. Oh yeah, wait. Existence is in the list. What the hell? It's here. So, am I crazy? Did I just not add Videodrome? And that's it? Okay. Then I'll add it. Yeah. Okay, so. What the hell? Lots of lore behind Pandora's Box. The sequels weren't created by the original writer. Are you talking about, was it Clive Barker? Or Clive... Is it Clive Barker? Yeah. Would you recommend, like, the original books? If it's based on that, I don't know. I'm mixing up my lore here. So, I'd say... Where was it? Cronenberg, right? Videodrome, I'd say, is okay for Halloween, especially if you're into that weird brainy style that Cronenberg has. He's always a weirdo, right? So if you're into that, I think it's a good watch. There's a lot of stuff to love and appreciate in his films, but it's not, I guess, as fun. At least for me. If you tell me, guys, if you think Videodrome and Existence 2, I'd say they're both okay for Halloween for me. But if you think that they should go higher, do tell me. Also, I like how the icon for Dagon and Troll Hunter is so similar in color palette. That's crazy. Anyway, what else? Tusk. I'm very conflicted about Tusk because the first time I watched it, I was like, I kind of liked it. I was kind of disturbed and also had fun because it's just so stupid. Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween or Christmas movie? Well, I guess both, maybe, but also haven't seen that one, so sorry. Corpse Bride I have seen, but I just haven't added it to the list. Haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember liking it as a kid. Corpse Bride. Also, goth girls. I mean, I guess she's a corpse, so yeah, shouldn't comment on that. Tusk, right? What would you think? If you show Tusk to somebody, they're probably gonna stop talking to you. If it's a normal person, at least, because that's such a strange film. And the more I think about it, like in my memory, the worse it becomes. So have you ever watched movies before? Yes, I have. Don't insult me, Handes. Please, I will cry on stream. So yeah, I'd say Tusk is bad. Actually, I almost want to say that it's always shit. Do you guys think Tusk is a shit film? Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't even have like a Halloween vibe, actually. It's just like, hey, this guy gets tortured. Isn't that crazy, right? Yeah, I'd say at least terrible, if not always shit. You know what else is a movie that I really like, but I don't think fits with Halloween? Martyrs, the original French one. I love Martyrs as a film, like a horror, but I think it's not. It's way too dark for Halloween. It's not very fun. It's depressing and traumatizing too. It's crap, but good to trauma bond with friends. Yeah, I guess. Kind of like Martyrs, which is not crap in my opinion, at least the original one. So yeah, I'd say it's bad for Halloween. Yeah, you think so? Is it because it's too dark? Like it just ruins your mood, right? Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. You're right. Let's do something more positive now, I guess. What's a good one here? Oh, guys. Oh, I got it. You know what? Probably one of the best films to just put on if you have friends over on Halloween and you all just wanna laugh, especially if there's like alcohol involved. It is probably something you don't expect on this list, if I can find it. Which one? Where the hell is it? Which one of these is it? Don't tell me I didn't add it. Like, I remember saving the image. No way. No way I forgot it. Oh, here it is. Scary Movie, the third one specifically. I guess the first one would work too. I don't remember the fourth one. The second one is just one of the worst films I've ever seen. It would go into always shit. Like, it's not even fun to laugh at. But the third actually has some bangers. It has the hat joke, right? That's one of my favorite jokes, I guess, in any film, because I had never noticed it until people pointed it out online when the cop is speaking to the main character, and she, in each next scene, her hat becomes bigger and bigger to the point that it doesn't even fit in her truck. So I thought that was, stuff like that. There's a lot of it in the film. It's super stupid, but like one of the best party films ever, I think. Kind of on the tier of Scooby-Doo, but even more fun, probably. The hat joke is the best. Yeah, it's amazing. There are some really cringe things too. It didn't age perfectly, but that's part of the fun for me. But yeah, the second one is absolutely horrible. You shouldn't watch that if you haven't yet. So another film that's very fun, I think, and it's perfect for Halloween is Zombieland. I haven't seen the sequel, like Double Tap or whatever they called it. Rebel with a Cause. I don't see Scream on here. Yeah, because I haven't seen Scream. Sorry. Yeah, I've already told it to the others, but yeah. I don't know. Should I do like a separate... should I do a separate list only of viewer suggestions? What do you think? Let's try to finish up this one. Zombieland, Zombieland is just another one of those like horror themed but very, very fun and comedic films and good characters. There's Bill Murray in it, which already makes any film like a 10 out of 10 pretty much. So yeah. What else? Midsummer. I'd say if Hereditary is okay for Halloween, Midsummer is I want to say bad or even terrible for Halloween. And I love Midsummer, one of my favorite horror films of the last few years, but it's not a good Halloween film. I'd say it's kind of like Martyrs, right? It's such a downer of a film, even though it has some very funny dark comedy. It's just too much of a downer. Midsummer, hey, don't you dare. Yeah, not very good for Halloween, exactly. But something that is good for Halloween, even though it's kind of a shit film, is Color Out of Space. Again, if you have Nicolas Cage in something, it's gonna be fun, like, immediately, right? So this one just, oh my god, Nicolas Cage has some of his best bad acting moments, like the one where he starts throwing the fruits and the salad like into the bin violently, or just starts screaming inside of his car, and like some amazing moments. Oh, and the ending, there's just some framing of him that's hilarious. And is it a good adaptation of The Color Out of Space by Lovecraft? No, it's not. Is it super fun and surprisingly so? I think so, yes. So I'd say it's on the same level, kind of like Resident Evil, somewhere there. The Goosebumps movie. Do you mean the one with Jack Black? If I think about Jack Black, I kind of want to shoot myself in the head. I don't know, after like his character became so, I don't know, so cringe. It was always cringe, but he was kind of likable. But at one point, he was just like the Rock of silly characters or something like that. You know, he's kind of everywhere, and he's in Minecraft. You know, I am Steve. What the hell? Not a Halloween film, but it's a very interesting movie, generally speaking. Bonus points that Bjorn Anderson shows up for a brief bit in it. Yeah, rip. He's great. He's in the funniest and one of the most horrifying scenes in the film, I think. That's the part where they jump off the cliff, I think, is like perfect comedy for me. Whoa. Okay. Willy's Wonderland would be kind of fun for Halloween if you want to see Nick Cage. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Chicken Jockey. Oh, god damn it. Come on, man. Don't hit me with that. Or my friends are watching my stream and it's embarrassing, alright? Actually, mean the earliest TV movies after the show. They made movies after the show? I didn't know that. I want to read Goosebumps again. So we were also... I get cut off too often. Sinister. Always shit. I'm sorry. If there's Sinister fans here, absolutely terrible, right? For me, it doesn't work. It has almost no redeemable qualities except some like good cinematography at some points. It has some of the worst... what do you call them? Some of the worst jump scares in any film I've ever seen. And also like such a lame villain. So, yeah. So, what else? One of my absolutely favorite films ever, and it's a great horror film too, is Kairo, or Pulse, by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. It's an absolute classic. It's been talked about a lot on the internet. And I think it's probably a terrible for Halloween, even though it's one of my favorite films ever. It's incredibly slow and quiet and atmospheric, so it's definitely like it will put everybody to sleep if you put it on Halloween. It kind of has some of the same vibes of Skinamarink in some aspects. I'm offended for Sinister. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's not good. The Walking Dead pilot is peak Halloween. Well, I don't know if it's peak Halloween, but it's definitely a great pilot. Like I watched like 3 seasons, I think, of The Walking Dead only because of how good that pilot was, which was also kind of stolen from or like copied from 28 Days Later, by the way. So I don't know. That kind of makes it lose some respect for me. Where can I get this list when you're done? I'll either upload it to YouTube posts or on X, So you'll find it there, or maybe I'll add a link in the description of the stream recording, so people can just click on it and access it. Well, when the stream is over. So more quickly now. Come on. Quickly, and he just shuts up and starts thinking, right? Gojira. The first Gojira. You know what? I'd say it's... again, not everybody will be into black and white older films, but I think like the original Godzilla is just so cool. It's just so fun to see all these effects, like the city getting destroyed, and just there's so much love put into it, and it's the beginning of one of like the biggest monster franchises in the world. So I don't know if you've seen that one. You tell me. Do you think that it fits? Is it a good Halloween watch? Should I bump it down a little bit? So what else? As above, so below. You know what? Not a great film. Not a great film at all, but it's not even as bad as some of like the critics said it back in the day. I'd say it's good for Halloween, okay? I'd say it's a good watch. It's fun. It's one of the better, I think, found footage films. And if we're talking about found footage, the thing, Prince of Darkness, the Mouth of Madness, Marathon. Yeah, you know what? Let's put Prince of Darkness. Again, Prince of Darkness is kind of slow, but like Carpenter, like, all right, I told you about the films Halloween, right? I would tell you about them later. I really, really hate the first Halloween film. Well, I mean, it's the first one I've seen. For me, I don't understand how that's the same guy that made The Thing and Prince of Darkness and The Mouth of Madness. Like, Halloween for me is incredibly boring as a film, and it's a bit like it aged a lot in time, so, and not in the best way, I'd say. And again, like Prince of Darkness is kind of slow, but when Carpenter wants, he's just a master of atmosphere, and his atmosphere, I think, is perfect for Halloween. And there's just some such iconic moments, like the homeless people, being brainwashed and killing people in the building or outside the building, and just those found footage like dream sequences are amazing. Again, not an amazing film, but it's up there for me. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good Halloween watch. I did not like the first Halloween movie. I also thought that it was really slow and boring. Yeah, and it's strangely PG too, right? Like I don't even know if you see any blood in that film. And it's like, what's there? Like, yeah, there is a pretty cool atmosphere, I guess. A good soundtrack, maybe some good shots, because I mean, it's Carpenter, right? But come on, do something, right? It's like you want to poke Myers with a stick and be like, come on, be interesting. I don't know why people love it so much, but maybe I came in at the wrong time. Pearl, good for Halloween. I don't know if it's good for Halloween. I think it's a good film. I liked Pearl well enough, but good for Halloween? I'd say it's okay for Halloween. Its atmosphere is also kind of too, like, it's all set basically during the day. It's like has these beautiful locations. They're not very, they don't have that Halloween vibe. But it's a fun film to watch on Halloween just because it's fun by itself, like as a film. Then, what else? What We Do in the Shadows. That goes up there with stuff like Zombieland. You see, I guess you can see a pattern here. Like I'm gonna bump down Final Destination. Every time I look back and I see it up there, I'm like, I can't recommend it that much. Come on, I get it. It's fun, but it's, it's not as perfect as the other choices. So sorry. So What We Do in the Shadows, just super fun. An actual comedy with just like a horror theme, I guess. You get these vampires from different eras living in the same house. And I think it's the only like good thing that Taika Waititi did. Well, I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit yet, but what We Do in the Shadows had some heart as a comedy film. There's some just some absolute classic bangers like Remember, we're werewolves, not swearwolves, and shit like that is just, it kills me. So yeah, I'm gonna put it at perfect, and it's a perfect like group watch again. Also because a lot of people haven't seen it. There's some people that have seen the series, I guess, which I haven't seen, but the original film, no. So show it to people. It's gonna be a good time. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? Somebody mentioned. Once again, I don't like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like it a bit more than Halloween because at least this one has a very specific look. It's very gritty, but I don't love the film itself, and it's kind of like, again, I wouldn't recommend it too much for Halloween because not a lot happens in it. It's just like 20 minutes of that film, I think, are just like a long chase scene, right? You just hear her screaming the whole time, and the sound of this chainsaw like constantly blaring in your ears. I'd say it's bad for Halloween. I don't know. If you have a group of friends who are just like fans of classic horror films, it's absolutely great. Even like that and Halloween and stuff like that. But personally, I'd say it's not the best in my opinion. If you want to show it to people that are more like into just casually into horror, I guess. Under the Skin, a great film, which I think doesn't fit Halloween at all. It's incredibly slow, and again, like, what would you say? Abstract and like metaphoric and stuff. Well, it is very good. It's terrible for Halloween. Again, you're either gonna sleep or just people are gonna hate it because they're gonna be like, what's even going on, right, guys? Hauzo. Somebody said it. Hauzo. Oh, whoa. Hauzo is, yes. It's not my. I've seen one of his more recent films. I don't remember the name of the film though. Damn. Well, I loved it. The original Hauzo, I'll have to rewatch it because back in the day I was like, okay, I get it. It's wacky, but it's like, not really my thing. But each time I remember it, I'm like, how could I just not be super hyped about that film? Like, everything about it looks amazing. And maybe now I would understand the style better. But yeah, with how much weird stuff happens, with how weird the effects are and everything, I think it is absolutely a perfect Halloween film. What else we got? Cube. Again, pretty classic, good horror film. Kind of like, did it come out before Saw? I think so. Is it good for Halloween? I'd say it's not very Halloween vibey. I'd say it's bad. Wouldn't say it's terrible because it's still not like it's not a boring film, but it's still kind of slower than the other choices up there. Kwaidan. I don't know who knows about this film. It's a classic Japanese like anthological horror compilation of a film with like 4 different stories of like different ghosts in Japan and stuff. And it's good. It has some incredible sets, but it's also very slow and it's like 3 hours long. So on the one side, I want to say it's good, but like, I don't know. I think people are gonna very much fall asleep if you put this on Halloween. What else? Mothman Chronicles. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I've already seen it being mentioned, but never seen it myself. Also because Mothman is just cool. It Comes at Night. Another one of those like films that I really like, but Halloween watch? Nah. Too artsy, too slow. Not exactly the best Halloween watch. Van Helsing. Let's talk about some shit films for a while now. What do you guys think about Van Helsing starring Hugh Jackman? It's not a good film. I mean, everybody probably knows at this point that it's not a good film. But is it a cool Halloween watch? Like, if you get just like drunk with your friends and just put this on, I think you're gonna have a blast. I think you'll laugh all the way through it. So I wouldn't say it's as fun as some other choices up there, but I want to say it's good for Halloween. Crucify me, all right? Crucify me if you think I'm wrong. I'm sorry. And good memories, good Halloween vibe. Yeah, exactly. Something similar that I added, I guess, if we're talking about good memories and films that are not amazing, but that are good for Halloween, I think. Blade, probably. with Wesley Snipes, one of the earliest, I guess, big Marvel films. It's so cool. Like one of the coolest characters I think in the whole like Marvel, not really cinematic universe, but like in that same category, I guess. It has so many like horror vibes. It's so stupid. It's so needlessly cool, and it has probably like top 5 movie quotes ever, which is like some motherfuckers wanna always trying to ice skate uphill, right? That's just like an amazing quote, because every time I hear it, I'm like, does that even mean anything? Did he come up with it? Like, did he just have it in him and just throw it out there? Amazing. So I'd say that Blade I'd say it's okay for Halloween, right? Because personally, I'd say it's perfect, but I know that it's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea for Halloween. So, what else? The Shining. You see, now I love The Shining. One of my favorite films, I'd say. So far, definitely my favorite Kubrick film. Yeah. But is it a good Halloween film? It would be good because of just how iconic it is, I guess. But is it really, like, do you just like put it on Halloween and just have fun? I don't think so, because again, it's very, very atmospheric and very just, it takes its time, you know. I don't think The Shining, for how good of a film it is, I don't think it's a good Halloween watch. 7, yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't categorize 7 as a horror film, and honestly, I don't really like it that much. Like, I'm not a Fincher fan in general. I don't really love his style, I guess. But yeah, just, you know, like the what's in the box, you know, that's an absolute classic. And it's probably one of the better roles by Brad Pitt, which again is not an actor I really love. Grave Encounters. Has anybody seen Grave Encounters 1 and 2? Because they're terrible films. And at first I was like, when I've seen them as a kid, like for the first time, I was like, ooh, spooky, this is fun, this is Halloween stuff, right? But as an adult, like revisiting them, I'm just like, oh god, they're just terrible. Hey, hello, Smile Country. How are you? And so, like, if anybody has seen Grave Encounters, just tell me, what do you think about it? It's like, about them. I think they would go into always shit for me. They're not as fun as I remember them being. But maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. Maribito. Maribito is another great Japanese horror film, but it is, again, super slow and just doesn't fit with the Halloween vibe for me. I'd even say it's terrible for Halloween. It's kind of in the same ballpark as Cairo for me. So Constantine, as we've talked about it before, I don't know. I think it's a pretty fun Halloween, like a pretty fun film to put on Halloween. I have to go to work tomorrow. That sucks. Yeah, I'm doing good. I don't have work tomorrow, but I do have to work a lot on my new video essay because that script is coming along very slowly. It's kind of difficult. Gunjam Asylum. I think I haven't seen it. I tried to watch it one time, I think, but either I didn't find it in good quality or like I just had something else to do, so I interrupted it. I don't think I ever finished it. It seemed like some Grave Encounters type thing, but okay, but why do you have Chuck? It's not Chuck, it's Chunk. How dare you? Officer Chunk. Because he's amazing. I just reposted something on X, somebody who said like, I'm chopped, fat unk and fat. I'm Chunk, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Chunk. And so yeah, Tilda Swinton in Constantine is so cool and one of the her most underrated performances. Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, Tilda Swinton is just amazing in everything, so that's not hard to see. But Yeah, I think it's pretty fun. And also, Keanu Reeves, like, you can't take seriously anything he's in, I think, except maybe like Scanner Darkly, maybe. And he's just a fun presence. You don't really, what do you call it? It makes it even more fun because you can't take Keanu Reeves seriously, at least in my opinion. Do you like watching sports? Is that a question aimed at me? No, I don't really care about sports at all. The only thing I had any like interest, just because it was on TV and I was like, this is interesting, was climbing. Just because it's so interesting how people like put themselves in these weird positions and do stuff that I would never be able to do, like even in my dreams. So the answer is actually no, I don't watch sports. Do I look like somebody who likes sports? Go Broncos, shut up. What else? Eraserhead. Now, as a big Eraserhead fan, I would tell you that you should watch Eraserhead in any moment, in any situation. Like, it should work in like any kind of context. But being more realistic, I know that it's not like the best Halloween watch because again, it's Lynch. He's again slow and has this the style is not for everybody. You do look like a hockey guy. What? How? Why? I'm built like a stick. I'm built like the hockey club, not the hockey player. Eraserhead, I'd say, is kind of like The Shining, like an amazing classic, but is it really Halloween coded? No, I don't think so. Cloverfield is just good for Halloween in my opinion. Just a dumb monster film in which stuff gets destroyed. Why not, right? Is it an amazing film? Is it a smart film? Not at all. Is it fun? Yes. And seeing as at this point we've put stuff like Van Helsing on this list, it's not that crazy, I guess. Not that crazy of an addition. Don't you do it dirty? Yeah, I think Cloverfield is fine. It gets overhated in my opinion. Muldered played for the Transnistria Starvers in 1978. Yeah. Oh, like a guy who likes watching hockey. Well, I mean, that makes more sense, I guess. Yeah. What else? Buskin or Bushkin. I never get how it's actually pronounced. This one has some crazy stuff happening in them. Some very cool dream sequences, but then like the second part is just like a torture porn, I guess. And it's kind of weird. And not in a good way, in my opinion. So I would say, I would put it maybe at, probably bad, because it's also quite slow as a film. A Quiet Place. Is that what it's called? A Quiet Place, right? No, I think that one is a good Halloween film. Is it a great film in general? I don't think so. It's alright. But for a Halloween film, it's fast enough, it's spooky, that's pretty good. Cloverfield was a fine movie, a tad strange from the concept, but it had a fun twist if you don't know the title. Yeah, pretty cool. VHS 94. I think that all VHS films are or collections, I don't know what you would call them, are pretty bad, like in general, kind of terrible. But, for Halloween, I think they're pretty okay as a watch, right? Because there's variety, like it's anthological, so like there's different things. It's just that sometimes it goes a little bit overboard to the point where you turn off your brain, at least I do. And VHS Beyond, I would say the same thing. I kind of hated it when I watched it the first time, but sometimes when I remember it, I'm like, maybe I was too harsh. There are some really cool ideas in it, actually. And also, again, gotta respect a movie that in this day and age has aliens in it. So maybe I'd say that Beyond is actually good for Halloween, possibly. Yeah, you know what? I'll put it up there. I don't care. Shut up, Hondas. Barbarian. I think, you know what? I'm gonna be controversial. I think Barbarian is fucking shit. It's actually terrible in my opinion. I really hated that movie. Not because like it changed style suddenly, just because there was nothing good about it in my opinion at all. And it kind of made me angry actually. I found it to be a very annoying film. It also has one of the funniest like monster deaths ever when they fall like from the rooftop or whatever it was. Just terrible. I'm sorry to any Barbarian fans. Not my cup of tea. You know what's Mads? Probably nobody has seen this film. I would recommend it. It's like a French horror film that's all in one shot. It's all one shot, and one fun thing is that sometimes you can see the cameraman's shadow, but like it's a hour and a half movie of just one continuous shot, which from one side makes it very fun and creative. From like another point of view, you also have some like boring scenes, like of characters going from place A to place B, for example, right, and going on car rides and stuff, which can be a bit boring. So in that sense, I'd say it's not the greatest thing for Halloween, but I think it's okay because the concept too is quite interesting. I'd say give it a watch. Heretic, very good first half. Hugh Grant is great, but then it just devolves into something very, very stupid in my opinion. No, I haven't seen Good Boy yet, but I will check it out probably because, you know, dogs are cool. So Heretic, you know what? I'd say pretty. I'd say it's on the same level as Bashkin. It's like there are some good things and it has some cool vibes, but it's not something I would watch on Halloween, honestly. The Empty Man. I don't want to say it's complete shit. It's by the same guy who made the AM 1200 short film, and I expected so much more. Like it sets up a lot of things, but at the end, like it doesn't pay off at all, in my opinion. So I want to say it's actually just bad in general, but it's not that bad. I didn't hate it as much as all these other films, so I'll say it's bad for Halloween again. Get Out. Get Out, I think, is a great film. I had a lot of fun. I think it's very, very creepy. But would I say it's a good Halloween film? I'd say it's okay. It's okay for Halloween. Le Document Interdit. Oh, now this one, I made a video about this one. About the fact that this film is basically like created analog horror before analog horror was a thing. Like 15 years before or something. Have you seen that one about two Mormon girls in an endless mansion of a crazy theologist? I can't remember the name. Yes, I just put it here. It's Heretic. It's not an endless mansion, actually. It's much more lame than that. And yeah, I thought the first part was pretty cool, but like it falls apart completely at the end. So anyway, The Forbidden Files. Again, this one is kind of slow. Like some of the parts are very, very slow, but like if you have friends that are into this kind of thing, I think it's such a cool watch. It's just the coolest part about it is how like realistic all of the parts are, pretty much. Like it really looks like something that came out of a live show or something. I think it's okay for Halloween, although I really love the film. Just because it's so slow, I wouldn't say it's good for Halloween. What about Renfield? Renfield, again, Nicolas Cage, so it's gonna be fun. And Nicolas Cage playing Dracula, it's just like a match made in heaven. The film itself is kind of garbage. Like I don't know what you would expect for something like this, but you know, I had fun, so I'd say it's okay. If only just for the amazing performance of Nicolas Cage. Infinity Pool, it was alright. I think it's by Cronenberg's son. But I would say it's pretty terrible for Halloween. Like, and I see a lot of people kind of hate on this film, and I get it. You know, it's not the best film ever, but some stuff I liked, and in general, I didn't feel it was like a good Halloween watch. Didn't really have good Halloween vibes, I guess. But something that did, even though I don't think it's a great film, is It. And here I'm talking about the remake. I've never seen the original one. Again, I think the remake is very overhated. It has some pretty cool stuff in it, and you know, what's more Halloween coded than just the typical like kids in a cul-de-sac just going against some kind of monster that nobody else sees, right? I think it's pretty fun for Halloween. I know many people now hate it. I haven't seen the sequel, not interested in it really, but I thought the first one wasn't that bad, honestly. Then a film I really loved from this year, Bring Her Back. I really, really loved Bring Her Back, but I would say it's a terrible Halloween watch. I don't think it's that fun of a movie. It's, again, like some of these others, it just leaves you depressed, like makes you depressed. It's very psychologically daunting as a film, so wouldn't recommend as a Halloween party watch. The Hills of Eyes. Now this one, I think, could be, like, again, not an amazing film. I enjoyed it personally, but is it good for Halloween? Again, if you have a gang of people that really enjoy classic horror films, it's gonna work. If not, in general, I think it's just somewhere in the middle, okay? I could listen to that theologist in Heretic speak for hours, like the way he's written. Yeah, he's great, and Grant seems to really love playing that role. Like, you can see it in his character. Yeah, which just makes it so much worse when the actual film just kind of falls apart and becomes this weird like horror thing that nobody expected, I guess. What else? The Wailing, again, great horror film. Yeah, have a nice night too. Thank you for checking in. I hope you get some good recommendations from this. The Wailing, great film. Is it a good Halloween watch? I wouldn't say so, because it's very slow too. But it's not as bad as the other ones. I'd say it's somewhere like here. Bad for Halloween. Even though I would totally watch it. You know, what I might actually do later, I'm actually gonna rewatch The Wailing just because it's a vibe. But it's also pretty long, so that doesn't help. What else? I put them in some like TV series and stuff just because I wanted to. I'll do them at the end. Reanimator, not an incredible film by any stretch, but very fun and very wacky. So I'd say it gets like good for Halloween. Is it perfect like those ones? No, I don't think so. But it's fun. Shudder. Now, this one is so funny to me because I personally think that Shudder is a horrible, horrible film. I know a lot of people love it, I guess, but personally, I feel like it's incredibly funny. Like, it's so bad it's good, honestly. Like, I watched it with my girlfriend and we both were just laughing our asses off the whole way through. The film takes itself super seriously, but it's just so dumb. I don't know why it has this kind of like a modern horror classic, what do you call it, like reputation, right? I think it's hilarious, but I guess it would be pretty fun to watch on Halloween just to laugh at it. So I'll put it again kind of in the middle. Then Talk to Me. I think Talk to Me is a pretty good Halloween watch. It's much more fun in its style and its its atmosphere than Bring Her Back. So I think it just works as a Halloween film. What else we got? The Ritual. Again, a bit slow, this one, but the vibes are work very well for Halloween. I want to say it's good for Halloween, even though, again, the movie itself is nothing like crazy good, right? But I think it fits well for Halloween. I don't know, maybe okay. Maybe okay is better. The Descent, again, pretty cool flick. Pretty, like, one of the most, I guess, how would you call it? What is it called? The phobia of enclosed spaces. Well, that, anyway. Why am I not remembering? Claustrophobia, yeah. One of the most claustrophobic films, and I'd say, like, among all of these, it's kind of like Crack. I think it's quite spooky, so if you want to go in that direction for Halloween, just have something that makes people kind of poop their pants, I think that The Descent works well. Then we got Event Horizon. I hate this film. I know it has a lot of fans, and I should rewatch it, but I really just hated it the first time I watched it. I really think there's like no redeemable qualities about it. I don't know why. There's just it was just so dumb for me. I want to say it's always shit. If you want to fight, write it in the comments. I'm not into it. I was struggling to find a good watch today. Well, all of these at the top, while they're very different from each other, they're all good Halloween watches, and the second line too. What else? The Monkey, I thought it was bad, and I think it doesn't even work as a Halloween film. Sorry if anybody loved it. The Sadness. Now, if you're into, like, somebody was asking before, what's the goriest film or the most violent film on this list? It would probably be between Terrifier and The Sadness. And I think that The Sadness, does it work as a Halloween film? I'd say yes. I'd say it's a pretty good Halloween film. It's a classic, zombie film, but it kind of has a different structure than most zombie films, I guess. Yeah, I wish we celebrated Halloween too here, but, Oh, dude, Monster House. Monster House is a perfect Halloween film. Yes. Anyway, yeah, I'm seeing, like, it seems to me that every year people celebrate Halloween less and less. Is it just me? It really feels like the Halloween spirit is kind of dead. I don't know. Monster House. Yeah, Monster House is, like, honestly, like, is it perfect Halloween? Yeah, honestly, it's set on Halloween, so, like, what could be more Halloween than that, right? Mandy is fun. Like, Mandy is just stylistically very cool. It has Nicolas Cage in one of his best performances, one of the funniest performances too, and it's just such a super cool film. You shouldn't expect anything too serious because it's just very wacky too, but surprisingly, like, well made and super stylish. So absolutely go for it. But yeah, Monster House. Oh, I'm covering the list at that point. I'm gonna put myself down here. Yeah, that works, right? So, what else? Planet Terror. I remember nothing about Planet Terror. Just the fact that it's very fun, and I don't even remember if it's like horror or not. But I think it's very fun. Did I add it by mistake? Maybe, like, is it a mistake that I added it? I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it would be a fun Halloween film, wouldn't it? What else then? Green Room. Green Room is a pretty cool film. I should have made a list of, like, good film but bad for Halloween, or like bad film but good for Halloween, right? Just divide it even more. Green Room. It's just like a punk band goes to play in this bar in the middle of nowhere, and it's filled with Nazis or neo-Nazis. And one of the songs they play is Nazi Punk Fuck You, I think, or something like that. And they get mad at them. Oh, they witness like a murder, and then like there's just neo-Nazis trying to kill them in violent ways. And it's a pretty cool film. It's a pretty cool watch. Oh, another always good category. You know what? Maybe. Right. Always good. But if I would only add up there like The Thing, um, Nightmare on Elm Street, maybe. I don't know if that would work actually. Yeah. Oh, is it too straightforward to say that it's always shit? You know, sometimes people get offended by like their favorite movies being insulted. So anyway, Green Room, I'd say it's okay for Halloween actually because it's a pretty fun film. It doesn't have like monsters and stuff, but it's a very like it's almost I'd say it's more of a thriller than a horror, or one of those horrors where the horror is like human. So yeah, I'd say it's in the middle. Exuma, yes, Exuma is interesting. I don't think it's a great film. One of my problems with it's how it looks. It looks like a Amazon Prime show or like a Netflix show. It's kind of strangely cheap in the way that it's in the way they do the color correction. It almost looks like it's filmed on an iPhone or something. I don't know how to explain it, but it has some very cool concepts. But I think like if you want to watch a folk horror film from Korea, I'd say like The Wailing is a better choice than Exuma, but it's still a pretty fun Halloween film because there's just more wacky stuff happening. Like, I mean, I love the giant samurai guy. That's a bit of a spoiler, but you know, if you're gonna watch it, you should have a hook of some kind, and it's just like these people trying to basically exorcise some old graves in a particular spot where a guy wants to build a house, I think, or something like that. And like some weird stuff starts happening. Some very cool moments. Kind of wish it was a bit shorter, maybe, or like divided into a series or something, and that it looked a bit better, honestly. Raw, Grave actually is the name. Raw. Good film, honestly. Liked it. Is it good for Halloween? You know what? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good for Halloween. Actually, I don't know. It's one of those examples again where people are either gonna love it or hate it, I think. And if there are specific things like cannibalism that you are very disgusted by, you might not like it. And it's not like exactly a super fun film. Maybe I'll say like okay for Halloween, right? Who cares? It's your opinion, man. I won't get mad if people for saying something. Yeah, but you know, sometimes people can come off as, I guess, I don't know, just like self-important, I guess. Almost like your opinion is law, right? And I hope it's just clear that I'm very much going off of my own taste here. And even when I say that a film is shit, doesn't mean that like it is, in my mind, objectively shit, right? I just didn't really like it. Of course, you are not disgusted by cannibalism. Yes, we talked about it, Hondas. Like, I think cannibalism is pretty cool. Actually, it should be put in the law. Let's do a quick Koji... I always forget his name. Koji Shirashi, I think, who made Noroi. This is Ura Horror. Ura Horror. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is that... I don't know. Again, like a collection of different found footage little horrors, and I think it's very good. And this one, I guess, moves quicker than Noroi, so I'd say it's good for Halloween. It's very cool, actually, especially if other people haven't seen it. Show them Ura Horror. Is Crimson Peak on there? No, I haven't seen Crimson Peak. The Conjuring, like, okay, The Conjuring would be maybe one of those. It's kind of like, I think, in a Sinister and Insidious ballpark, which I don't think it's as good as people say it is, but also it's like one of the most like classic versions of the haunted house story, right? And personally, you know, I don't think it's a bad watch. It's just something you've already seen 1,000 times, but the first Conjuring, honestly, I'd say it's pretty good for Halloween. It's just a super classic haunted house story, right? So why not watch it? What else? Onibaba. Again, one of those cases where the film is an absolute classic, but terrible for a Halloween watch because it's just a very slow old film. But it has like some peak cinematography, honestly. Altered States. Now this is an interesting one. I think Altered States is great, and I honestly would put it at okay for Halloween, just because sometimes it can be a bit weird and slow and stuff. But who cares? It's still good. And now my camera is dying again, I think. So let's try to charge it this time, maybe. I'll see if it doesn't blow up because it gets too hot. So yeah, Altered States, big recommend. Very cool film, very unique, but not exactly the most fun for Halloween. Fright Night. Now, Fright Night has all the elements to be a perfect Halloween film, but it has such a strange pacing, in my opinion. It's a very slowly paced film, but not for any like real reasons, just because like it seems that everybody moves like they're covered in molasses or something. It's very like, it takes its time a bit too much, to the point that it becomes kind of funny sometimes, but it has one of the best like portrayals of a vampire, of a suave, cool vampire ever, in my opinion. Some very funny characters. So honestly, yeah, I'd say for a group watch, it's pretty good. I think it's good for Halloween. Not amazing, but good. It follows. Another one that's like overhated, in my opinion, but also overrated at the same time. Like a lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it and say it's one of the worst films ever. I think it's just a pretty cool horror film. So not only is it cool, it's also like the concept itself is like interesting and fits well, I think, with the Halloween vibe. And yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good Halloween watch. Train to Busan, another one. It's like it's a pretty quick film, from what I remember. It's just about like zombies on a train, pretty much. And you know what? I'd say I'd leave it at okay for Halloween, because it doesn't have a lot of that Halloween vibe that I'm talking about, like with all of these, that kind of levity, but also kind of some horror and stuff. It's kind of it fits there. Twin Peaks. We'll leave like the series and stuff to the end. The Audition, another pretty cool horror, which just devolves basically in this chick torturing the guy in very horrifying ways, by the way. But I like the film, but I don't think it's a good Halloween film. And if you show it to somebody, they're probably gonna think that you have mental problems and you are possibly a serial killer or something. You know what? We also got Underworld here, which, as opposed to Resident Evil, which is fun even though it's terrible, Underworld is just shit in any fucking case. Like, oh my god, I like, it's so bad. I almost want to say that it's so bad it's good, because it's fun to laugh at with your friends, but at the same time it's almost like insultingly terrible. Let's put it this way: if it was just for the characters, like there's this main evil vampire guy who tries to control the protagonist because he's in love with her, I guess. He's Craven or something. We were joking with our friends, like, while we were watching this, about the fact that he doesn't do anything pretty much in the whole film. He just like walks from room to room, and in the first part he always just seems to want to walk to the same window in the room. And it's hilarious when you notice those kinds of things, and that every time somebody talks to him or he talks to somebody, it seems like he takes like a few seconds to buffer the informations in his head, and that he looks just very, very stupid. So with stuff like that, it becomes fun. But the film itself, I'd say just like avoid it like the plague, honestly, unless somebody just puts it on and is like, I'm gonna make you watch it, okay? Then what else we got? We're almost done. Look, The Void. I see a lot of people shit on this film. I think it's not that bad, and I honestly think that it's a good Halloween watch. Yeah, I said it. It's a pretty cool, pretty cool film for for cosmic horror, I guess. It's a vibe. An American Werewolf in London. You know what? I'm gonna do it. Just an amazing, funny horror film, and it's just peak. Like one of those big classics that are actually also goofy enough to be just like laughed at, or you can laugh with them, I guess. Has anybody here seen Ginger Snaps? I wanted to add it to this list, but I've seen it so long ago that I barely remember it. But from what I remember, it has pretty strong Halloween vibes. So I'd say it's like a good for Halloween film. But if you've seen Ginger Snaps, and more recently than me at least, and would disagree with that, do tell me, please. What else do we got? Oddity. I'm going to be controversial again. I think it's a terrible film. I don't understand at all why people liked it. It was a pain to go through. And didn't like any of the characters, didn't like any of the dialogues, didn't like the way it was shot. The last scenes were just comedy gold in a bad way. So sorry if there's any Oddity fans here. Brightburn, I don't even know why I added this. Like, another shit film, I think. Poltergeist. Now this one, again, not an amazing film, but a pretty good, solid Halloween movie, right? Both like the effects, the story itself, like they're all a lot of fun. Dark Water. Didn't really care for the movie that much. I think it's the same director as The Ring, like the original Ringu, or The Grudge, one of those two. But it's just like a sad horror film. It's not good for Halloween at all. But yeah, not that bad, but pretty depressing. There Are Monsters. I don't know how many people have seen this, but it had some potential. It's a Halloween classic in my household, watch every year. The sequels, not so much. Oh, okay, so I remembered correctly. Yeah, it's a pretty cool film from what I remember. Very charming. Anyway, There Are Monsters. It's a found footage film that probably nobody has ever seen, and honestly, it's just kind of shit. Paranorman. I've never seen Paranorman. I'm sorry. Again, if I do like another part of this, I'll try to just get either I'll try to watch all of the suggestions from this video, or I'll just try to make a second part after seeing all of the suggestions. So yeah, There Are Monsters, pretty terrible in general. Wolf Creek, an Australian horror film that my friend Handus told me to watch because he loves it. I love the first part, where it's just like friends hanging out, and because it feels very natural. And then it just becomes like this crazy guy tries to like torture them, I guess, in the middle of nowhere. Kind of like The Hills of Eyes, but only with one dude. And yeah, I'd say, I don't want to say it's shit because I don't want to offend my friend Handus. But I'd say it's a pretty terrible Halloween watch, honestly. The Night House. Pretty cool movie. Terrible Halloween watch because it's very slow, I guess. What are your thoughts on House of Wax? Ooh, haven't never seen the original. I've only seen, I think, the remake, and I saw it as a kid. I just remember some of the scenes and they traumatized me, like people being covered in wax and like the finger snapping part, or like when they cut off the fingers. Yeah, that's pretty terrible shit. Or is it like something with super glue or something? Yeah. So The Night House, pretty cool film, but just a very slow and sad film about grief. Vampire's Kiss. How many Nicolas Cage films do I have here? Jesus, didn't even notice. Vampire's Kiss, is it really Halloween? It's kind of. It's honestly just super fun, super dumb too, but in a controlled way. I don't think it's like bad. I think it's a good movie, but it has just a humor that you either like or not. And I think it's a pretty good Halloween watch. When Evil Lurks. Bad for Halloween, honestly, because it's not a terrible film. It has some very cool ideas, and as I said before, like a kid gets attacked by a dog, which is pretty cool. But I wouldn't say it's a good Halloween film because, again, it's kind of like gritty and depressing. Bram Stoker's Dracula. I don't know why I added this. It's not even really a horror film. You know what? I should like take it out of here. Can I? No, I cannot delete it. Well, whatever. Let's put it at like. Well, you know what? That's it's okay for Halloween, honestly. If you're like into romantic stories and like your vampire boys and stuff, then it's for you, I guess. The Grudge. So I'm just putting in both like the original Japanese ones and the English remakes and stuff because it's kind of all the same shit for me. It's such a classic, I think, such a classic creature design and like sound design and stuff that it becomes kind of a good watch at first. That's what you would think, right? But it's also like kind of slow. I don't know actually for this one. I'd say at this point, kind of like The Ring too. There's such classics that I would say good, but I remember at least The Ring being even slower, so maybe not the best. You know what? The Grudge too. They're kind of like too slow to be as good as these ones, I think, but still not terrible. Paranormal Activity. Now, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Where should I put Paranormal Activity? Is it shit? I mean, it's still pioneered like a specific style of found footage, I guess, which is cool. At the time, like it had its cool ideas, right? But I don't know. I haven't seen it in so long that I wouldn't even know what to say about it. As a kid, I remember pooping my pants while watching it, like not literally, but metaphorically speaking. And then there's Annihilation. I want to say that Annihilation is shit, but I think it's being too harsh. I personally didn't like it at all, and I didn't like the book either. I couldn't like get through it because I found the style way too swagless, the writing style, and the film just kind of looks like it's covered in like Tumblr filters. What Tumblr? And like TikTok filters or something. It's just pretty terrible in my opinion, and I'd say it's pretty terrible for Halloween, if not like a terrible movie in general. What else? Vivarium. Now this one, kind of the opposite. I've seen tons of people hating it, and I don't really get why. Sure, it's not like the smartest film ever. It's very on the nose, but I think it knows that, and it has a very funny and hateable creature in it. So I don't know, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I think it's okay for Halloween. And it's also one of the few like really like liminal space films out there, so that's gotta count for something. Nosferatu, hey, yeah, bad for Halloween, and I maybe hated is a strong word, but I really didn't like the film. And yeah, I'm a fan of Herzog's version of Nosferatu, and this one I expected so much more from Eggers, and for me it was just like a kind of a nothing film. Very like there was nothing in it that really caught my attention, right? You see, there's I saw the TV Glow. Another, oh damn, my camera got overheated again. That's crazy. I need to do something about that because it's crazy that it does that. Yeah. Is it working again? Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to really figure out something with it to not let it overheat, I guess. Terrible. So, what was I saying? Nosferatu, yeah. I saw the TV Glow. I think pretty cool film, all in all, but a pretty bad Halloween watch because it's just much more like a personal story. It's psychological. It's more about figuring out your identity and stuff. And I think it's much heavier than a typical. It's more in the ballpark of something like Skinamarink, right? Over the Garden Wall. I know it's not a movie. I know it's not even horror, but it's absolute perfection for Halloween. It's like the best fall show ever, with Twin Peaks. Maybe Twin Peaks is not the best Halloween show, but it's definitely perfect for fall. And just like if you have a bad day, just stay in your covers and like drink some hot tea and watch a bunch of Twin Peaks episode and just get sucked into that beautiful, beautiful atmosphere. And I think that the third season, The Return, is actually perfectly Halloween adjacent. So, yeah. Then the X-Files, hello, just Halloween perfection. Like every episode has a different creature and like different concept, so you can have a lot of fun with it. There's always something to talk about, or always something to enjoy in them. So perfectly Halloween. Shaun of the Dead. I'd say it's good for Halloween because just I used to love it, but like some of the jokes like kind of aged a bit poorly. I think like the general humor of the film kind of aged. It's very much of its time. Yeah, my battery is dead on the camera, so either I plug in the camera and it dies because of overheating, or or just no battery at all. So yeah, next time I'll probably be streaming again using USB, even though the quality is gonna be lower. But yeah, let's try and finish this up. All right, guys. Detain, didn't really like the film, didn't really get it, and I think it's pretty terrible for Halloween. Incantation, really liked it, and I think it's one of those very good Halloween films too, because it's just spooky in the right way. It's not perfect as these ones, but still cool. Tremors, doesn't really have a Halloween vibe, but it's a very fun movie. So I'd say it's okay for Halloween. It's one of those that you could actually just watch in any context because it's just fun. The Tunnel, I don't even remember The Tunnel. It's like a found footage film, very inspired by stuff like Wreck, but I remember nothing about it, honestly. So I'll probably say it's shit. The Substance, one of the more interesting, I think, horror films in the last few years. And I'd say it's perfect for Halloween, honestly. It's just a lot of fun as a film. So again, a lot of humor, a lot of horror too. The Cabin in the Woods. Now this is an example of just perfect Halloween film. Very fun too. The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Don't remember this one too well, but I remember it being fun because it's more like a dark comedy, or a black comedy instead of being like straight up horror, and it's a bit of a like comedy drama too. And I think it's a pretty cool watch, even though it's much more like winter coded than fall coded. So you decide. A Record of Sweet Murder, another film by Koji Shirashi, and probably one of my favorites by him. Is it good for Halloween? I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that it's good for Halloween or not. It's definitely a cool film. Maybe I'd say it's okay. It's also a bit disturbing, definitely, if you're sensible to certain themes. Pontypool. Now, Pontypool, I think it's one of those films that I don't want to rewatch just because, like, the second part or like the ending of the film kind of destroys it for me. But I think it could be an interesting Halloween watch if you're watching it for the first time, just because of how of how different than many other horror films it is. So give it a shot. I think it could be pretty good. Might find a new favorite here. I don't know. So yeah, sorry, I'm still messing with the camera because I'm gonna have to think about this problem. Then we got Tetsuo the Iron Man. I think being that it's like 40 minutes, it's like a featurette. I think it's super fun and it's a big classic that everybody should see, and it ends up with like a big stupid battle at the end. So yeah, I think I would put it into good for Halloween. Even though like it's experimental and stuff, it's just like there are some such fun scenes, like the the table scene, if you've seen the film. Did I put Dracula 2 times here? What? Why is it here again? Didn't I just, like, put it somewhere here? Okay, for Halloween? That's strange. Oh, no, that's the Babadook. Why did I think that's Dracula? Well, the Babadook, I don't think it's good for Halloween. Again, one of those more psychological films. I've recently seen Le Jour de Lac, which is a French film that absolutely surprised me. I thought it was very good. If you like gothic horror, then, this is my Nosferatu, okay? This is absolutely my Nosferatu. And I think it's okay for Halloween. Yeah. The Mist. Well, if you want to just be depressed after watching the film, then The Mist would be perfect. And don't know if I would rank it as a good Halloween film. Well, I'd say that the whole concept of like being stuck in a, what would you call it? Like a supermarket. It's not even that, like a convenience store, and having all of this mist around, like it's almost cozy in a way. And I think like the best Halloween stuff has to have some coziness to it too. But in this case, yeah, that ending kind of soils the mood. So I'd say it's okay at best. Psychic Visions Jangray, or Jangray, I think. This is another found footage film that nobody knows. It's a Japanese found footage film, and it's only like 40 minutes, and it's about this idol, I guess, that gets haunted by a ghost. And honestly, just in general, it's pretty fun. I'd say it's pretty good for Halloween if you can find it. Then we got The Hunger with David Bowie. Great performance, great film, super cool, but not a good Halloween watch, I think. No One Will Save You. This is, I don't know if anybody has seen this. It came out pretty recently, and it's just like this girl who gets attacked by aliens on her property, and it's pretty weird. It's pretty fun, kind of predictable, but I had fun. I think, especially if nobody has seen it, then it's a pretty fun watch for Halloween, I think. Then we got, well, this, I keep seeing this Dracula here. Let's just put it at I don't know, okay for Halloween, right? Possessor. Now this one is again from the son of Cronenberg, and I like it much more than Infinity Pool, but I think it's still not a great like Halloween film. It's just more psychological again, and like deeper than you would expect from a Halloween film. Where's my face? Well, my camera died. That's where my face is. Nowhere. And so we got to the last one. The Borderlands. Another found footage film with one of the most harrowing like endings ever. And I think it's okay for Halloween. I don't think it's great. I don't think it fits perfectly with the Halloween vibes, but it's still one of those like kind of funny, wacky, but also kind of terrifying found footage films. So yeah, this is the list so far. What do you guys think? Give me some opinions if you're still here. I don't know. I kind of expected it to end up something like this. Like I knew that the funnier stuff, like the more comedically toned stuff, would be at the top. Just because Halloween for me is more about fun than anything else, and this kind of wacky vibes fit perfectly, in my opinion. So yeah, you guys tell me. Now, I thought I would be streaming more, but I think like we've been going on for almost 3 hours. So sorry if this was boring, but it's just something that I wanted to put out there for like this Halloween and the Halloweens to come, just to have it and just to share with people. Hello brother. Yeah. If I had to probably pick something that's not The Thing, that would be like my favorite Halloween watch, would probably be Cabin in the Woods. Matt got too high? You think so? Yeah, it is. I guess it is slower than I realized when I watched it, just because I was so amazed by the art style. Um, yeah, yeah, it's more. It's also more abstract than most stuff that people would enjoy. So yeah, I'd say I'd put it at okay. Um, but you know what? Also, yeah, I'll say I'll put Army of Darkness at perfect for Halloween. Honestly, it's too wacky to not be up there. And so yeah, everything else, I don't know, it kind of looks pretty good to me. It looks like the list of a sociopath or of a fucking like somebody who's completely lost their mind. Like if I took out the writing on the side, would you even like ever guess what the list is about? Like it seems very very strange, right? But yeah, this is it. So now I'm gonna finally finish up and just go and eat something, I guess, because I'm kind of hungry. So I guess goodbye to everyone. If you haven't caught it before, then you might just catch the recording of the stream, and I'll try to upload the list somewhere and just put it in the description of this stream. So good night to you too, and happy Halloween, and hope you go and party now, or at least watch some cool films, possibly from this list, and have some fun. Halloween is cool. Don't lose that childish approach to it, So yeah, bye bye, and thank you all for watching and being here with me. Thank you all. You too.